Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Unlocking the Paradigm Portal. My name is Sarah. So, if you watched the Fire Horse episode last night, or honestly, if you've just felt this sudden surge of urgency in your life today, like this restless, electric, maybe a little bit unhinged feeling of I need to change something right now, then this episode is for you. Because there's a very specific phrase that happens after a big realization, or after a truth hits, or after something wakes you up, and nobody talks about it. And I don't mean the inspirational crowd and the follow your dreams crowd and any of the gurus that are out there. And that phase is the urge to blow up your life overnight. Do you know what I'm talking about? To quit the job, to end the relationship, to move cities, to confess everything you've been holding in, to burn down the old version of yourself immediately. And listen, sometimes change is necessary, but urgency doesn't automatically mean clarity. And sometimes urgency is really just adrenaline mixed with relief and a nervous system that finally stops suppressing the truth. You're not suddenly crystal clear, you're activated. And activation feels powerful, but it can also make people reckless. So here's what's actually happening. When you've been tolerating something for a long time, whether it's discomfort, misalignment, resentment, pretending, survival mode, whatever it is for you specifically, your body holds that tension. And when the truth finally breaks free, all that stored energy needs somewhere to go. So your brain goes, we must act immediately, but what you're feeling isn't always guidance. Sometimes it's discharge. Your nervous system wants relief from that pressure and not necessarily a life-altering decision. And this is why people make massive changes and emotional spikes, and then 6 months later, they're like, what did I just do? So there's a 3-part equation, we'll call it, to this whole process. The first part is activation, and that activation leads to disruption. And then the disruption leads to integration, if you're aware that this is what's happening, which is why I'm here. Most people know the first two. The activation is the wake-up call. The disruption is where everything feels unstable. But the third phase, the integration phase, is where the real change actually sticks. And if you're listening to this and if you genuinely want change, this is the most crucial part. It's slower, it's quieter, it's less dramatic, which is why people try to skip it, because drama feels productive and stillness can feel terrifying, or it might feel stagnant. So signs that you might be in the blow-up phase. You might feel impatient, you might feel restless or intolerant of things you used to tolerate, or hyper-aware of what isn't working. You might feel emotionally charged or be emotionally charged in conversations. You might be tempted to make really big decisions in the middle of the night or at any other very inopportune time. My personal favorite, though, is that drive to suddenly start over in every area of your life at once. New routines, new identity, new plans, new boundaries, new everything. And that's not clarity. That's overwhelm wearing a motivational speech costume. So the difference between aligned action and emotional reaction is really, really crucial to understand. Aligned action feels firm, calm, even if it's uncomfortable, and there's this steadiness to it. And on the other side, emotional reaction feels urgent or shaky and almost compulsive. And it has a do something now or I'll explode kind of energy. And if your decision feels like it's coming from panic or exhaustion or a driving need to escape discomfort, pause. Allow yourself to pause, not because you shouldn't change things, but because you want to change them from power, not from overwhelm. So here's how to use this energy without completely wrecking your life. Don't suppress it. You channel it. And that, by channeling it, it becomes decisive energy, not destructive energy. And you use it for things like having honest conversations or setting boundaries that you've been avoiding, or finishing things that you've been procrastinating, making plans instead of impulsive moves, reclaiming time and energy. That's a big one. Just think about how much time you spend on avoidant practices or distractions and how much energy you expend on people and situations that it's about them. It's not about you and your valuable energy. You're going to get clear on what actually matters, and you're going to have movement without chaos, courage without self-sabotage. And here's the nervous system piece that people don't often explain enough. When your body has been in suppression mode for a long time, activation feels almost unbearable. And that is because your system isn't used to that much energy, so it tries to discharge it through action. But you can discharge energy without detonating your life. You move your body, you breathe, you write everything you're thinking without editing, like verbal vomit. You let the emotional surge pass through it instead of making it your decision maker. And I know that that is very difficult because when you have that intensity and that urgency, it feels physically uncomfortable to sit in it. Or when you have negative feelings coming up, it feels unsafe to sit in them. And that is the sign from your body that you need to sit with it. You need to pause and just be with it. Because clarity often shows up after the surge, not during it. And you don't have to change everything at once. This is where people tend to get very stuck. This is where I historically have gotten very stuck. I've always fallen into the, oh my gosh, I have this energy, I'm going to change all of it. And then guess what? Nothing sticks. So people tend to think if I don't act immediately, I'll lose the courage, right? Or no, that's not actually the case. And that is that emotional reactivity instead of being decisive and thoughtful. If the change that you want is truly aligned, it will still be aligned tomorrow and next week and next month, because real clarity doesn't evaporate overnight. And this surge of energy coming from the year of the fire horse, yes, it is motivation, it is drive, it is power, it is surging forward. However, you have to pace yourself. You have to make plans. That is a huge part of it. It's not just dreaming about it. It's not fantasizing about it. It's making actionable plans and steps and breaking them down. So the fire horse lesson, if we're going to use that symbolism as I just was, movement is going to be required. And if you've been very stuck or resistant to change or to forward momentum, this will be a challenge for you. But hey, you're here, let's do it. Because direction matters far more than speed. And getting that laser-focused direction is crucial, because running fast in the wrong direction just gets you lost faster. And if you don't have that laser focus, then you're just scattered. And then you're doing multiple things, but are you really investing in each one and doing them to the very best of your ability? So power without guidance also becomes chaos. And power with intention turns into transformation. This is the main reason it is so crucial to just allow yourself to dream about what you want and how you want to get there, and bring that into a structure, bring that into baby steps, something small. I mean, heck, my thing for today was just make sure I drink water. That's it. And guess what? I did it. Yay, high five. And now I have more motivation to add one more thing tomorrow. Small thing. Maybe I'll remember to take a vitamin this time. So start dreaming and then create the plans from them. And if everything in you wants to change your life overnight, pause long enough to ask yourself what actually needs, and I mean needs, to change first. Not what you want, not what feels the most dramatic, not what would shock everyone, not what would give you immediate relief and instant gratification. What would create stability, freedom, or peace over time? because the goal isn't to escape your life. It's to build one you don't want to escape from, that you love so deeply, that you are passionate about, that you are joyful about, that you are living your fullest in. So if you're in this phase right now, you're not broken and you're not losing your mind. You're waking up, and waking up is messy. It's disorienting, and it makes old coping strategies stop working before new ones are built. That's why it feels chaotic. So give yourself space to move forward without rushing yourself into decisions that future you has to clean up. You don't need to blow up your life to change it. You just need to stop betraying yourself in small ways and start choosing differently and consistently. That's where real transformation lives, not in big dramatic exits. It lives in steady, deliberate steps. So thank you for being here. And I'm going to do another longer video on Friday, and I will give you some more actionable, practical ways to start creating that structure and making these things become your reality. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I really hope that you start taking charge of everything.